Krishna gets beaten up because my children sort of played around with it quite a lot. They tore the cover off. I managed to find another similar one. The first cover of the Krishna book it looked very like this, but it had a picture on the back of Prabhupada, how do you say, in just gleeful laughter, laughing with his mouth wide open and just laugh with his eyes shining. I have one devotee friend, Astasaki. When she saw that picture, she was sold just on the picture. She bought the Srimad Bhagavatam in Manchester the Krishna book, from Mahavishnu, now Swami. We were up in Manchester in 1971. We were selling magazines, and we had one or two small booklets. But then we had this shipment of Krishna books, came from Japan. Prabhupada negotiated an amazing deal with Dainippon printers in Japan. He must have he got them cheaper than anyone else ever in history. He stayed there for a whole week negotiating. He got this amazing deal. And of course they did very well out of it, because for years and years afterwards they were printing millions of books for BBT. And I don't know what the quantity was. It was considerable quantity, something like 50,000 Krishna books, and he had a quarter of them sent to New York, a quarter to Los Angeles, a quarter of them came to London. So we had this huge, to our eyes, stock of Krishna books, taking up at least half of the prasadam room. So there was nowhere to eat. So we were daily reminded, if we wanted to eat in comfort, we had to sell the books. So everyone was having a go. And at that time, we didn't sell books on the street. So we thought the only way to do it is door to door, just knock on people's doors and present them with the Krishna book. And many Krishna books were sold. And Mahavishnu became very good at it. That meant he sold 2 or 3 in a day, which was unprecedented. So he sold one to Astasaki, who at the time was working in the Manchester University, in the Students' Union, running the office. So she bought the book and she took it to church, because she was a very devout Christian at the time. She took it to her church and sat there in the church sort of praying to Jesus, tell me, this amazing personality on the back. I'm so attracted to this book and this wonderful descriptions of Krishna. What should I do? She was praying. And she said that at that point, a beam of sunlight suddenly lit up the church, and it came through the stained glass window and fell right on the Krishna book in her lap. So she, being herself, a mystically inclined person, she took that as a sign from Krishna and gave up everything and joined the temple, full of trepidation and fear, I have to say. My own introduction to the Krishna book was just around the time I joined the temple. The Krishna book had arrived, just one copy. Actually, the first time I went to the temple was the Sunday evening program, and I came the next morning, or the morning after, I don't recall. Early in the morning, we caught the first bus across town and joined the devotees during the japa period, and everything was completely amazing and mystical. And then we sat through the Bhagavatam class, which we couldn't really understand much. That was the original unedited Bhagavatam that Prabhupada brought from India, full of typographical errors, but absolutely charming. Prabhupada's English was broken English, basically. But that's what we had for the first few years of the society. So we So I struggled a bit through the Bogota class, and then everyone went down for breakfast, but Yamuna took me aside, and she asked me, she was so excited about the Krishna book, she said, you know, we've got this amazing book, let me show it to you. So just the two of us sat in the temple room, and she opened the book and she began reading to me. And this is the story she read. And she was reading about, you know, how I'd seen Krishna on the altar, but I couldn't really understand him at all, what was going on there. She wrote down